So it's been a while since we've done a proper driving Montero video, and that's because it's been out of commission. But I am happy to report it is in commission. It's back in. My gauge cluster is back. It now displays much more accurate mileage. One of the reasons I sent the gauge cluster off was because I broke it. I broke it trying to roll the odometer up because I'm an idiot. I'm not an idiot, really. The reason why I'm doing that is because at some point in this truck's life, a previous owner replaced the gauge cluster and the mileage was far from accurate. If I look at the vehicle history report of this Montero, it climbs all the way up to 276, and then the next time there's a mileage report, it's like 170 something. And then now that I own it, it was at 192. So what I've done is I've taken the 276 and I've taken the difference of the 170 something to the 192 and added that to the 276. So now my Montero displays 323,881. This is a 300,000 mile plus truck, and it's earned those miles, so it should display those miles proudly, and that's why I've had it rolled up. But that's not what this video is about today. Today, we're talking dash cams. I've wanted a dash cam for years. We've all seen the videos on the internet of the crazy stuff these things capture, but they also capture incidents when you're not at fault, crazy things on the road, like I said, just people bumping into your car. Dash cam technology is highly evolved, and there's a range of dash cams out there. Our friends at Nextbase reached out to us because we talked about them on the podcast. They've given me a slew of dash cams to test, and the first one I'm testing is their top-end model. It's the 622. It is mounted in my Montero. It's hardwired in, and the reason I've put this one in this truck is because they say it has really good image stabilization, so good that they found people who are into off-roading and overlanding and stuff can capture trail footage running their dash cam, and it's great. I'm at the start of the Maple Springs Truck Trail, a place we come all the time to do off-road stuff. I was here 2 days ago in a Raptor, whipping up the hill. I've driven the Montero up the hill, G550, Range Rovers, all kinds of stuff up the hill. When we test stuff off-road, we like to use this hill. I'm not going all the way to the top, to the radio towers, but I will go to I'm gonna go to just shy of 4 corners, because there's plenty of driving on the way up there to see if this thing has decent IS at all, what it can capture, and what it can do. Now, another neat thing about this camera before we fully start driving is it has a modular accessory port on the side. So I've also been given other cameras so I could click it on the side and it could do an in-cabin one or like a wider rear-facing one. I didn't install the rear camera because there is a rear camera you can mount all the way at the back, because the installer said to put the wiring, hide it in the headliner, they'd have to this is glued in spots. It's not just ribbed. So they would need to pull it down. They could damage the headliner. I was like, you know what? Don't worry about that. Just do the front. They hid the wiring. It's hardwired into the truck. So I don't have to worry about that, and I don't need it. That's what's neat about the modular system, is because they didn't install that, it's still fine. If I want to run a rear-facing camera or in-cabin camera, I can snap it into the side of the front-facing camera, and it's good to go. Really neat, the modularity they added. And then as we start driving, I'll talk about some of the specs of this camera through a voiceover system, so I can just drive and capture the footage and not try to talk as I'm doing it. So let's get moving. One quick note, if you like the footage on this channel, please like and subscribe to it. It just helps with the algorithm. We've moved the podcast off the channel. The podcast, for some reason, was killing our channel numbers. I mean, it could be a lot of other things too, but ever since I put the podcast on this channel, the numbers started diving. So I moved the podcast to a separate channel. So if you like the podcast, go find Hooniverse Podcast, link in the description, and subscribe to that channel, because the podcast lives over there and on Spotify, and Spotify's bad now, but Spotify and Apple iTunes and all that other crap. But for this channel, like and subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you want to support the channel, go to blipshift.com/Hooniverse. Find our partner store on Blipshift, buy some t-shirts, buy some stickers. All right, merchandising part, channel support over, back to the driving. Let's go drive now. So this is the Nextbase 622GW dash cam. It's the flagship of the company at the moment until the newer IQ model or models arrive. So what does this one feature? Tons of good dash cam tech.
First off, you can record in full 4K. That would be 4K at 30 frames per second. You can also opt for 1440 at 60 frames or even 1080 at 120 frames, which is good if you needed to slow stuff down. The controls are touchscreen based, and it's a 3-inch screen on the back of the unit that's also the display. If you prefer, you can connect your phone, use the Nextbase app, and also adjust the options that way. And in your phone, you can pull clips and see what you've recorded on the camera. Nextbase has a polarizer built in to help the unit with glare through the glass. The viewing angle is a nice wide 140 degrees, and you can see just fine at night as well. There's an intelligent parking mode that records if movement is detected, say from someone opening a door or bumping into your car when it's parked. There's also a mode that helps the camera see vehicles and license plates even when it's super foggy out. If you do get in an accident, the emergency SOS mode can send your location to emergency services. It can pinpoint your exact location too, since it uses that insane What 3 Words global positioning system. If you haven't read up on What 3 Words, go check that out, as it's both interesting and crazy at the same time. Finally, the reason we're testing this thing out is to sample the image stabilization. We're doing this in a far harsher space than the roadway. This is Maple Springs Truck Trail, which is rutted, loose in spots, and full of good-sized bumps and rocks. As you can see, there's some bouncing in the footage, but compared to what I'm experiencing in the cabin of my Montero, this is nothing. I think a GoPro delivers a bit better, but I would also expect it to do so since it's a true action camera and the mounts are more robust. For a dash cam with the added benefit of image stabilization, I'm extremely happy with this 622GW. I'd love to see Nextbase or a third party develop a stronger mount that holds the camera in just a bit more tightly, like a GoPro mount would with a GoPro camera. That would help reduce any camera movement that much more and make the IS and resulting picture look even better. But with everything the 622 offers, I think the $399 retail price is quite fair, and this is their top of the line model, so the other ones all come in under this and may be perfect for your needs. I'm going to toss a lower tier model in my Jag since I don't need the image stabilization level that you get on the 622. Even the base 122 model can record in 720 and still has the intelligent parking mode, and that one's just $60. From there you have the 222 and 322GW, which both have full 1080 HD and run $130 and $153 respectively. The 422 and 522 both jump to 1440 and add the better quality nighttime recording, and those sit at $230 and $260. So Nextbase has a good range of options. I'm happy with this 622, and I'm going to do a test of the lower spec model once I have it installed in my Jag, so stay tuned for that video.